If nothing else, I hope the endorphins would lift us, lift her, maybe ease our pain. Outside the store, the legless woman from Gold Alley harangued me for money again. Across her shoulder, she flaunted a spiraling tattoo of legs, doll legs and human legs and spider legs, as if the design could help propel her through her day. Her back muscles were taut and sinewy from their constant workout, but on that day, her eyes were hollow and dull, as if death was finally sneaking up on her. Panic snuck up on me then, too. Her eyes were the eyes of my little companion. What if she died while I was gone? How would I be able to explain that one? I rushed down the sidewalks and through Parrot Park, where I snagged a long branch of fuchsia blossoms. The sky had darkened with its summer gloom and fog, and my heart began to race as if I was 10 years old again. Arriving home, too late, the disorienting smell of death hovering at the door, my father wailing and slamming the kitchen cupboards as if looking for his favorite coffee cup, my mother's body still and cold, her slack jaw tied shut with a length of gauze, an awkward bow on top of her head. Anxiety began to crush my chest, and by the time I reached my hotel, my palms were moist, my fingers numb. Of course, she hadn't moved while I'd been gone. She wasn't struggling with the ties. She was simply waiting for something, anything, to change her situation. I waved the fuchsia branch above her face, and the tiniest of smiles formed on her lips. One formed on mine, too, grateful I had somehow escaped an eternity in hell. I set the fuchsias and the chocolates near the bed before untying her hands, and she didn't try anything funny, but she still wouldn't eat. I prodded her with a few songs of my own, ridiculous summer camp ditties to the solemnity of church hymns. I must have ignited something, because her passion for singing returned during the night, though it wasn't as delicate or heavenly as it had once been. By the following evening, she was so animated, we doubled over in laughter, until it broke into a million little pieces, and I had to learn how to capture the tiny, giggling bubbles. It took until daybreak before I got the hang of it, and by then I was completely exhausted. I drifted off to the sound of her serenading me with pickups of laughter. The rhythm was oddly soothing, and though I knew I should resist, her voice enveloped me and I surrendered to sleep. I dreamt of her flittering freely around the room, her wounds healing, her wing gaining strength, her beauty more beguiling than ever. She was becoming exactly what I wished her to be, and for a moment it seemed as if it had all been worth it. Visions of her finally eating made me the happiest of all, until she smiled at me with fuchsia stamens dangling from her mouth. Her lips were swollen yellow with pollen, and the more petals she consumed, the more frenzied she became. She zipped over and around me, her manic laughter stabbing the air, but the singing, her exquisite singing, had completely evaporated, and a deep sadness came over me. My limbs jerked and twitched, my body shuddering as if trying to wake itself, but my strength was gone. I fell into the deepest of slumbers. In the morning, my body ached all over, especially my cheeks and mouth, but my mind had vivid recollections of the laughter bubbles and hypnotic melodies. I was eager to begin capturing the bubbles again. It's true what they say about laughter. It can heal your demons, and I could feel mine fading sweetly into remission. I reached for my little friend to see if she was as anxious as I was. But I realized I couldn't move my hands. My eyes adjusted to the surprisingly dark room. I couldn't tell if it was morning or afternoon, but the uncertainty didn't compare to my serious case of cottonmouth. I pulled my hands again, my wrists chafing against the sensation of ropes. I hoped I was trapped in a state of REM sleep, but scanning the room for clues, I saw the fuchsia branch stripped clean, the chocolate bars smeared on the walls, my hands bound to the sides of the bed. I don't blame her for anything, even though it might be 4 or 5 days before the landlord comes knocking for his rent money. God knows how I'll explain this one. I still don't know what she stuffed in my mouth, but the rough, itchy texture makes me think it's her pink skirt. Why did I ever think I'd find a good fairy anyway? The way my luck has been running, I should have known better, but one can always hope. Maybe she's just allergic to chocolate, or maybe it was the room. Even a simple coat of white or bone would have made all the difference in the world. Thank you.